Welcome in, everyone, to the Platform Podcast, East Alabama, West Central Georgia edition. I'm your host, Rip Behringer, alongside my partner in crime, Richard Holdridge, your national scouts for this area, exposing the unexposed. Thank you to DR7, Jonathan Mumphrey, Jeremy Hayes, and the team for allowing us to be a part of this. Glad that we're going to able to shine a light on all the talented athletes around the Tri-City area, as we like to call it, and look forward to being a part of the DR7 circuit coming up in the spring, Richard. And we've been doing every single week, picking a different position to kind of shine a light on some of the top players in our area, and we're looking forward to receiver and defensive lineman this time.
Yeah, two very important positions when it comes to playing at the next level. It seems like receivers are your athletes that want to try to go up and get the ball, make plays. They could run any type of offense, whether it's the pro-style offense or the wing T or the spread. And we're here to shine the light on some of the top receivers from our area. As for the defensive line, well, I mean, we've seen some great defensive linemen from our area that have gone on to play at the next level, including in the NFL right now with Michael Williams on the 49ers. But you got T.J. Parker that's over there at Clemson. And so we've got some very special defensive linemen that's going to be playing on Saturdays.
Yeah, we do, man. All right, so let's get into it. We'll first start with receiver. We have the Carver Tigers' K.J. Miles. He leads the teams in touchdowns. He is one of the leading receivers, only a junior this year. This young man's got a lot of talent, Richard. I'm expecting big things from K.J. Miles from the Carver Tigers. How about Kyle Lawrence from Glenwood? He leads the team in touchdowns. This big possession receiver, about 6'3", can go up and get it with the best of them. So Kyle Lawrence at Glenwood, K.J. Miles of Carver.
Both receivers very similar. They are possession receivers that likes to go up and get it. We saw K.J. Miles, who was coming off an injury last year in that championship game last year against Burke County, make just an incredible catch. And he's just acrobatic on that sideline and just making sure that he possessed the ball and then he runs with the football. The yak, the yards after catch, that is very important for a guy like K.J. Miles, who, by the way, is a verbal commit to the University of North Carolina. Cal Lawrence, I mean, what can you say about any time Glenwood got into a third and long situation, Cal Lawrence was there, great route runner, able to possession with the receiving, and just able to make plays down the field. And that's really two similar receivers that have been in big-time games.
No doubt about it, man. So those are the top two right now that we started with, not the top two receivers, just the top of the list.
In no particular order.
Luke Scoggins, Calvary, he's been great. He has been a guy that's been a staple since his sophomore year, can play tight end, play receiver, can play multiple positions. The fastest guy in our area, I think, has been Mitchum Kelly. He's really busted on the scene. He's going to have over 1,000 yards this year. Mitchum been absolutely sensational as well, Richard. So Luke Scoggins from Calvary, Mitchum Kelly from Brookstone.
I love how you have two different styles of receivers. Luke Scoggins, who is electric when it comes to punt returning, but he's also that type of receiver, kind of like a Cooper Kupp in the NFL. That's going to give you like 10 receptions in a game. And that's the type of receiver that Luke Scoggins is going to be on Saturdays. Meacham Kelly is just your speedster. He is the type of receiver that wants to take the top off the ball and make the big play downfield. And he's been doing big things for Brookstone as he is the leading receiver over there for the Brookstone Cougars. And Luke Scoggins has really been that leader coming up. He's been in the system for Calvary since he was a sophomore, and he's also that really leader on the field because, you know, he has been now a senior, having those younger receivers that they look up to, that he has really been just a teacher of the game. And that's the type of player you want to see at the next level. Somebody who not only is skilled and talented, but can also pass his knowledge on route running and just be that coach on the field.
No doubt, Richard. Jamie LeBoy, Brookstone, another guy that's come from Miami now at Brookstone in his first year. He's really been on the scene. He's also a guy that can return kicks. He's sensational and electric. Phone booth quickness. Quentin Lewis, the leading receiver for an undefeated Russell County team. This guy is going to lead the team in touchdowns, and he may get over 1,000 yards this year. Mike Bass from Central 7A team that's undefeated takes on IMG Academy this week, one of the top teams in the country. Mike Bass is having over 100 yards a game, and then the freshman Braylon Everett That guy's started getting looked at by D1 prospects and D1 schools all over the country as a freshman. He's been great. And then two other guys, J.D. Davis and from Pacelli and Davis Munkus from Troup County. But Samuel LeBoy, Brookstone, Quentin Lewis, Russell County, Mike Bass, and Braylon Everett from Central.
Well, one thing about Central, they know a thing or two about wide receivers. You look at Cam Coleman, Carmelo English, Justin Ross. They've all played at the next level, and they've got some great ones that's coming up. And talk about the freshmen that having an impact. As far as Troup County, Davis Monkus, he's just a tremendous athlete. He's also a baseball player, won a state championship with Coach Tanner Glisson, who's also the football coach. He was the baseball coach. And he is just an electric punt returner. And when you have a quarterback in Garrison Edwards, he's able to get the ball to Davis Monkus. And he is the type that could be a possession receiver, but it can also be a deep threat. And that's always great to see. I love seeing a new player coming into this area like Samuel LeBoy coming from the state of Florida and just making an impact right away. That is always great. And what can you say about J.D. Davis, who was the quarterback last year for Pacelli, but he's a tremendous athlete. And so his natural position is receiver, and he's made big plays for the Pacelli Vikings this year.
Yes, he has. J.D. Davis is also a guy that's kind of come into his own. Last week, he had close to 200 yards receiving. He's been sensational. And Davis Munkus, when Garrison Edwards in trouble, his go-to guys have been Trey Dean and then Davis Munkus, who's only a junior, by the way. So those are some of the top receivers. KJ Miles from Carver, Cal Lawrence from Glenwood, the senior, Lou Scoggins, senior from Calvary, Mitchum Kelly, and Sammy LeBoy over from Brookstone, Quentin Lewis from Russell County, Mike Bass from Central, and Braylon Everett, J.D. Davis from Pacelli, and Davis Munkus. We only have a few seniors on here. The rest of these guys are underclassmen.
Young talent.
We're expecting big things coming up from these guys the rest of the season for sure. All right, let's do defensive line. And we got to start with the best defensive lineman, the number one prospect in this area. He's already committed to A&M. It's Division I prospect Tristan Givens for the Carver Tigers. He's almost unblockable. We talked about him in our first show when we said who are the top players regardless of position. Obviously, he's going to be the top in defensive line. And then Tristan Lyles is not far behind. Both these guys are going to have double-digit sacks this year, and both these guys can play for almost any position, it seems like, in that front seven. And I'm expecting big things from both of them as they'll head on the next level next year.
Both players like to use their physicality, and they just have a lot of power at that position. Starting with Tristan Givens, like you mentioned, is unblockable. He is the verbal commit to Texas A&M and one of the top defensive edge rushers in the entire state of Georgia. And this area has had a success of a big-time pass rushers. And, just like his coach there over there at Carver, the former Georgia Bulldog, Jarvis Jones, he's got a good one over at Carver. And then Tristan Lyles, we've seen some great edge rushers come from Central like T.J. Parker. But Tristan Lyles listed at 6'1", 238. He is a 3-star edge rusher. He is not verbally committed to a school yet, but I know that Alabama, Auburn, Troy, there's going to be some schools in Alabama that are definitely going to want this guy, but, he can kind of pick and choose where he wants to go. Still, on a great Central team, he's getting featured and highlighted because of that style of defense that they run over there. And he's been doing a great job for the undefeated Central Red Devils so far this season.
Yeah, he has, man. And I have been impressed by him for sure. A guy that we just got to see a few weeks ago that nobody's really talking about. He's at 8 sacks already halfway through the year. That's Jeremiah Culpepper from Troup County. He basically laid the boom that helped them beat Mary Persons the other week and kind of clinch their victory over them. Jeremiah Culpepper has been sensational at the defensive end position. And another guy that is defensive end, linebacker, he can play multiple positions, interior defensive line. That's Harrison Baker from Brookstone, who's already getting looked at by some high D2, lower D1 schools around the area. So Jeremiah Culpepper, Troup County, and Harrison Baker, Brookstone.
Jeremiah Culpepper is truly a baller. He could be a game changer like he did in that game against Mary Persons. He took over a game. Not only can he get to the quarterback, but he's athletic. He can swat the football. He can intercept it. He can block and make tackles for his teammates. And then when you have a guy like Harrison Baker, who's got a high motor running, is just about in on every tackle for Brookstone, and he plays with a lot of heart, and he's also very skilled at not only tackling but getting to the quarterback and just being an all-around athletic defensive player for Brookstone.
Kingston Brown, they call him the boogeyman, and the boogeyman's scary. That number 90, he can play defensive end, defensive tackle. Don't get in his way. The boogeyman will give you nightmares and a lot of quarterback nightmares. Kingston Brown, sensational. Darnell Hamilton lacks size but not will and determination. He's already got 6 sacks on the year for the undefeated Calvary Christian Knights. Defensive tackle, can play DN. Again, not very tall but very quick, instinctive, smart, and a guy that I think if he wants to can go on and play in the next level. So Darnell Hamilton at Calvary, Kingston Boogeyman Brown at Carver, and another one, Zamar McGee, a 3-star potential 4-star sophomore defensive lineman for the Tigers of Carver.
Yeah, you already mentioned 3 Carver Tigers. That just tells you that defense is loaded. For Darnell Hamilton, playing in the GIAA, Calvary Christian, their defense has improved a lot, as you saw for the undefeated Calvary Knights this season. Darnell Hamilton, even though he's a little bit small for defensive end, possibly could play linebacker and safety at the next level, but he does have the skill to be an edge rusher. He has power on the line, and I think going up, he's not afraid to go up against those offensive linemen. I just think when you get to college, he might want to play the linebacker position. He still can rush the quarterback on the edge as a linebacker, but I'm really excited just about the physicality of what Darnell Hamilton brings, and he is just truly skilled, and looking forward to seeing how his college career progresses after high school's over.
Leading sack artist Isaiah Thomas from Russell County. He's been great this year. And then Marcus Price, a sophomore defensive tackle from Central. He's going to be the next Tristan Lyles. He is second on the team in sacks.
And I hope this Isaiah Thomas doesn't get left off the dream team. I'm just kidding. No, he is a great defensive end for Russell County. And I just lost my train of thought because I know that it's a common name, but Isaiah Thomas, obviously, the Detroit Pistons. Very
common name, Big Rich. By the way, we'll wrap it up with you can watch all these great players on Georgia Alabama Sports Live YouTube channel, Facebook page. We have it all from East Alabama to West Central Georgia, Troup County, LaGrange, Callaway, all the Muskogee County schools, Columbus, all the private schools from Central to Russell County.
Manchester, Taylor County, Schley County.
We're eventually going to cover that, but right now we have about 20 schools at our disposal that we are kind of shine a light on, and you can watch all of it on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Top teams, Troup County, undefeated, one of the favorites in 3A. They're great. LaGrange right behind them with 1 loss. They look like a team that could win a championship this year. Then you look at Central, favorite in 7A. Brookstone, a favorite in the GIAA. The Glenwood Gators are competitive as well. So Russell County, undefeated. Calvary, undefeated. We got a ton of talented teams, and second half of the season, contender going to come up, and we'll find out who those elite teams are going to be.
Yeah, just wait. Next week, we got another exciting episode where we break down other positions, and I'm looking forward to breaking it down. And it's really given me just that appreciation of just going through the rankings. We have different Rivals.com, 24/7 Sports, talking about like how these players get stars. Well, it's exposure. It's them being featured on streaming companies that these college recruits are able to see their highlights, and that's how you got some of these players that already have 3 stars because they have been showcased. And I think that's what a great place like the Platform Podcast is, to expose the unexposed.
Yeah. And that's why we love being a part of it. Thank y'all so much for watching. We'll see you next week on the Platform Podcast, East Alabama, West Central Georgia edition. We'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.